All right, welcome everyone once again. So I'm Ava. We've got Nicola, Mike, and Mike, guys whom I'm following you guys online in LinkedIn. And even though I've commented and liked probably many of your posts in the past, we never exchanged and never were interacting in that way. So I'm even more grateful when you decided to join me for this chat conversation about our reflections from Team 25. I know that all of us basically we've been just watching it remotely. I was so eager to go there like months ago, but then few things happened and I didn't go, but they already announced Atlassian will be happening in October, I think 9 on and 10th of October in Barcelona once again. So hopefully we will maybe have the chance to meet face to face. We have also Rodrigo who just joined us. This is all going live, so we just go with the flow. Hi Rodrigo, are you able to turn on the camera? Hi.
Yeah. Hello. Hi, everyone.
Hey
Good
everyone.
morning or
So
afternoon, wherever you are.
thanks a lot for being here. Yeah. So I know that Mike also needs to go shortly, so I'm kind of like I've prepared some questions actually because I'm so eager to find out and understand your point of view and experience and observations. But if Mike needs to go soon, then how about we would start from you, Mike? Maybe just general open-ended question. What were your
Sure.
impressions from Atlassian Team 25 in Anaheim, and what is the biggest takeaway you kind of take with you for upcoming few months?
Uh, I was expecting it's going to be a little bit more than what they show it. It was not terrible, not terrible. GR data center definitely is dead. Definitely trying to kill it. Um, Still have a problem with Roval, yeah, that's how you call it. I cannot activate. I have to ask Atlassian for help. That joining together, how you call this, Loom and Atlassian, and I think it's a good idea. I'm a little bit disappointed because I was thinking it's gonna be a little bit more announcement about the service desk. I'm really into that product. But anyway, it was good. For me, not a game changer. Honestly, not a game changer. What they announced, it's going into the right direction. I pretty much like it.
So on the other hand, so you are saying not a game changer. So I'm curious, like
Mhm.
what would you like to hear to be like this aha moment now we are talking, now it's a game changer. What would you expect and envision from them to
Yeah,
announce?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. This is the problem, So they need to announce something, so I can actually assume it's a game changer. I'm not here
Okay.
to. I'm not here, to say okay, this is a game changer. But I was actually hoping a little bit there will be more. Let's say maybe a little bit announcement about Jira Service Management, because obviously I've heard there is a rumor that they're revamping Portal, because Portal is still super ugly. It's basic, but still super ugly. Maybe we can do some more stuff around actually Portal, and I think I've seen it on our Slack channel for Atlassian creators. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it actually, but I think I've seen some screens, and they are preparing for this. And I was also hoping there will be a little bit more information about the new interface of the GR. I call it GR 3.0, by the way. It's absolutely 100% made that name. Because there's some inconsistent. Like I've installed myself the new free version of Jira, and they actually received the new interface, and after a few days, literally they took it down. So it's confusing me. It's confusing also my clients. Some of my clients are a little bit panicking. I keep telling them, look, this is just a new interface, but they are a little bit panicking. We cannot test this. So I that's why I'm, let's say, a little bit disappointed about this. But overall, it was a good event.
So the new interface, you mean the one with the left sidebar and
Yeah,
horizontal search bar, and you
big
said
search bar.
it was like
Yeah, yeah,
turned
yeah.
on and off?
Yes. So they actually, I was hoping I will be able to test it, maybe create some videos about this, and they took it down. So what can I say? What can I say? It's a little bit problematic for me because now they're saying it's gonna be live. I've heard again, probably it's a rumor. Sandbox environment is gonna be from May, and they're rolling out that update in end of June or August,
It's
something.
a phase-gated rollout, I think, and
Yeah,
maybe
and we are still unsure if we must, progress into the 3.0 or we can stay on 2.0. This is really, really like unknown territory, and maybe for Atlassian it's bullshit, but actually it's important. It's important because I've got some clients which are a little bit panicking at the moment, because it's understandable, for them, especially they have a lot of materials, a lot of stuff needs to be redone. So I am that's my little issue. There is always love-hate relationship with Atlassian.
Is there, guys? Love-hate? Everyone is smiling, so there must be something.
No comments.
Yeah, it's like I love the fact that it's so highly customizable. You can do magic whatever you think about, I guess. Even, make it like a database, which may not be the best idea. However, it's sometimes very much painful, right, to implement something. Mike, thanks a lot then for your feedback.
No problem.
So feel free to jump off if you need, and thank you very much for being here with us today.
No
Thanks
problem.
a lot.
Cheers, guys. Bye.
Cheers. Thanks. Bye. So the single most important takeaway from you guys, Mike, maybe you will start. And then hand over to the next person. So let's self-organize during the conversation.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, I think beside of that rover will be free. I think that's very interesting, and that was the most big news, and everybody was sharing it. Oh, it's free, and I think for most companies, maybe they tried it, but I think it was too expensive for startups or scale-ups to use Rovo for everything, and now when you get it with Jira, JSM, and Confluence, I think that's really awesome. Besides of that, I think Mike also mentioned it. The collections are very interesting, especially the basic teamwork collection with Jira, Confluence, Loom, and Rovo for, I think they said $15 per user on the website. You have to contact sales, but I
was trying to find that out as well.
50.
Yes, in the presentation it was $15. I think that would be very awesome. As I said,
it's great value. It's great value
for startups and scale-ups. It would be very good. And also I really liked the announcement of the Atlassian Isolated Cloud. So first of all, they start with the government cloud and with their FedRAMP rating, moderate rating, but I think they also try to get the high rating for especially the US companies. I think it's very important for them, but I think especially for European and EU regulation companies, it will very helpful to have something as the Atlassian Isolated Cloud, because I think the most companies in the EU are still or bigger companies which are still using data center, and they are still waiting. Oh my God, is it compliant and secure to move to cloud? I think when they have the possibility to move to the isolated cloud, plus in combination, there was also an announcement of the Atlassian LLM, because at the moment we have the problem. Okay, you can choose your data residency, sure, for cloud, and that's very helpful. But at the moment, it's not possible to choose it for the AI or for Rovo, because they are using OpenAI. But if they will really use or introduce an Atlassian hosted LLM, I think that would be very helpful as well. And that you have, isolated cloud, which is hosted by Atlassian, but it's isolated, and you have the LLM, the Atlassian hosted LLM, which is also closed.
And all the apps in the marketplace as well, who are run on cloud, by the way. That's also like they're going to start pushing more of the run on cloud. So all the apps also completely self-contained in that.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So I think that that were my main takeaways, and I think that's very interesting.
So with
everybody.
LLM, you mean the Atlassian Studio they announced, like the one that you will be able to kind of write like no code, low code automations and stuff, or?
No, they said in one session there will be an Atlassian hosted LLM, so they won't use any API to OpenAI to use the OpenAI LLM. So they will create their own LLM, which only has your information.
Data.
So
Yeah.
and it's in a closed space, and I think it sounds like a good combination of the isolated cloud and the Atlassian hosted LLMs. But I think that both are still in planning. So maybe we will hear something more in Barcelona. We'll see. But I think it's the right direction to convince a lot of companies that are still using DC to move to cloud.
Yeah, I guess this is just tackling the challenges of the big enterprises as well, that for years wanted to be and stay secure with isolated infrastructure, let's say. And I guess the tools will be in place. The only challenge that will remain for them will be to make decision internally whether they want to invest to kind of big migration programs, because those programs, for sure, when one considers Jira data center migration to cloud, I mean, they are not technically maybe too complicated at some point, but they are much more complicated when it comes to revising processes, aligning the teams, and making that, one strategy for the migration. Thanks a lot, Mike, for your feedback. So please hand over to the next person.
Yes, Rodrigo.
Yeah, sure. So just not to repeat a little. One question that I did have about the AI, the Rovo, is about the that is free, right, for whoever already subscribed. I wonder what's actually going to happen with the payments, because all the other solutions that are out there, they all have like a credit system, and I haven't seen anything about that. I don't know if anyone here knows about that. It seems like you can just use it. Right. I wonder if at one point they're gonna implement some kind of credit way for people to pay for using because that's how Atlassian is gonna pay for it, right? So I'm a bit curious about that.
Can you elaborate the payments for what specifically?
Yeah, for Rovo, because all the other AI things that I've seen, ClickUp,
it's a computing power as well.
Yeah, they have like, it's one thing they do have is embedded in their platform, but they then go in and charge an extra for it. So
half an hour ago, I had a look at the Jira pricing list, and there are some credits in it. So at the moment in the premium. So let me have a look. So if you have a look on the Jira pricing site.
Okay, so it does have a credit. Okay, because I hadn't seen about that. I've seen a lot about it's included, but I was like, wait a second, that I think they have to have some kind of credit system, otherwise you can just super expensive. Okay, cool. So there is some credit system.
You can either screen share or share the link later on, so we will add it as well for those who are.
So at the moment for standard, I just have it for Jira at the moment. For standard, it's coming soon. So yeah, they start with premium and enterprise, and for premium there it's set 70 AI credits per user per month and 50 indexed objects per user.
Okay, interesting. But have you got anyone seen like how much it costs to get more credits? Because I think from what I've seen, like 70 credits tend to run out very fast.
Quickly, yeah.
Yeah. So that's going to be
No,
interesting as
I
well
don't
because
know.
it's included. I mean, what they're doing now, what they did is aligning with everyone else that I've seen. Monday, ClickUp, all the ones they have this system, which is also interesting because
Yes.
you are probably and the enterprise are probably going to have to expect that they're going to use Rovo, but then they're also going to have that bill for all those AI credits, which would be interesting to monitor that. I mean, it makes sense. The more you use it, the more you pay. I think it's a fair way, much better than how Rovo was, paying $20 per month. I think the credit system is much better. But yeah, that's interesting. And the other for me, the main highlight, next to of course all the AI stuff, has been how they continue pushing for moving beyond IT teams and software teams. So they're effectively lowering the price of the product with the teamwork right package, letting people buy everything for like the Jira, Confluence, Loom, for $15. It's good value. We see a lot of that push beyond software teams, and then I think that highlights how that is important for Atlassian, and they're going to continue pushing that. We see some of the use cases shared during the event was around HR teams, marketing teams, and the competition there is I think quite fierce. There's quite a few tools who are I think fighting for this type of customers. I think Atlassian has the IT teams, software teams. They dominate that. They do really well there. But yeah, I think that's good. I'm seeing how everything kind of been made to work together with with the same basis, right? Being able to share information across all these different teams. I think that's going to be interesting to see how kind of that evolves, and if they're able to gain those non-IT, development users, because those are the ones that I think struggle a bit more with using for the same reasons you mentioned. Sometimes kind of difficult to move around. People who are more like business, who are used to, who prefer something a bit prettier, etc. I'm curious how they're gonna adapt and continue to adapt the cloud product to those users.
Yeah, that's gonna be finally like embracing this whole concept of cross-team collaboration by not only having that product offering, but as well hopefully having people who will be like trailblazers or coaches internally within the organizations or customers, helping those teams between like marketing, HR, non-technical teams to get together. At least like for last few years, in my conversations with different companies, that always was the case. Like how to have like service desk team cooperate with the development team when there is a ticket raised, and let's say the development team currently has ongoing development work, but at the same time they need to find out space to accommodate that customer request. Same goes for marketing and so on. So that will be very useful to know that, and that is very useful to know that on the tool side we have it. Now we just need to really help the companies and organizations to embrace it and implement that. Thanks, Rodrigo. So I guess we hand over to Nicola. So the biggest highlights and findings in your opinion from last week.
I don't have a lot of stuff to actually add because Mike already actually said everything when it comes to Rovo. That is going to be free for premium and for the enterprise. Also, there's going to be for the standard. Right now, I believe that it's around like $5 per month for them. That's what I actually heard. But also, that is going to be free as well. So the main takeaway is, first of all, enhancing and the more usage of the AI, obviously, and empowering the whole Atlassian ecosystem with the AI itself. And also an obvious one where we actually talked about this before we started recording is the focus on the cloud itself. So especially with the announcement of the government cloud and also the isolated cloud as well. And the interesting thing is that moving from the data center to the cloud like Atlassian in the past 5 years or something like that, their biggest revenue actually came from the data center itself. Now, I don't know why they're actually doing this kind of a shift from the data center to the cloud, but that is their business strategy. And this is something that, well, we cannot actually really change. Something that was also interesting to me was this presenting of the system of work, which was also something that was presented last year in Barcelona, where this philosophy of connecting the technical and business teams using the tools in the right way, such as Jira, such as Lumen, such as the Confluence, in order to, well, basically bring the teams together. And since I wasn't actually there, I was watching one by one these super sessions. I didn't have much time to look them before because I had some stuff to do, and it was something that I found interesting was this feature where you basically can create a template out of your project. I believe that this will actually help the users basically to cut the time in creating the custom workflows, custom columns, and everything else. You just say, hey, I need the template from my finance team, and that's it. You set it up, you just add people to it, and that's it. People can get on with their work. So yeah, mostly those things. I don't have anything specific to add, and Rovo is just gonna be used more, especially when it's free, obviously, and also when the prices are getting dropped, especially the announcements of some of the AI agents, like the development agent itself, that actually helps you out to output some of the code. This was also mentioned in the Teams 24. It was kind of more detailed last year than this year, but I believe that Atlassian has its reasons why it's actually like that. But overall, it is okay. And when it comes like to the new navigation, there is also this one big thing that happened, changing from issues to work items.
Yeah.
So that is another change that was there, but this is something that is not really was in the scope from the teams. But then again, yeah, overall, that is my opinion.
Thanks a lot, Nicola. So I get from your feedback that you are the data center fan, or how is it?
No, we are actually on the cloud.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you said something, I'm paraphrasing, that you don't know why they are pushing so much on cloud. So I'm just like,
No, I'm just curious because what I saw from this sales report in the last like 5 past years, there's even like a graph that shows that most of the revenue actually came from the data center, and all of a sudden there is actually this kind of a need to, like push customers to the cloud.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. If this actually works for them, and if they're saying like there's going to be like a higher security, which is something that is kind of an important, and they're saying we're taking care of your security, you don't have to worry about that, especially in the server days where you have to patch everything up, or well, you're gonna get hacked or something like that. So
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I'm on the cloud.
Okay, thanks a lot. Yeah, I think personally that the market penetration across small and medium, let's say, companies that are more often adopting cloud, it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
it's already done, right? So they penetrated a lot of this market. A lot of startups, a lot of like whatever digital agencies, product companies, they are already having Jira Cloud.
Yeah.
And they just needed to have some offering to start penetrating the big scale enterprises market, and that's my kind of perspective on this topic. From what you said, I kind of second the idea that the topic that they presented, the HR service management dedicated project templates, and that's yet another kind of testimony to the fact that they wanna enable non-tech team very easily and quickly to have them up and running, relatively quickly, without a lot of complex configurations. So yeah, so that's is a great move as well. But I'm wondering.
Yeah, they even had a CRM, by the
Yeah.
way, just to kind of add to that. They even have a CRM template,
Yeah.
which is kind of interesting as well. Like
Yeah.
proposing people to use Jira as a CRM is quite an interesting proposition.
Yeah, the same thing as Jira, because before it was this emphasizing on this is for the software teams, this is on the software teams, and then the team they were saying Jira is not only for the software teams, it's for the business team, finance teams, IT teams, you name it. It's just how you actually configure Jira for your teams. That's all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think also important in this case is the restructuring of the Atlassian home with the goals, and I think that's very important. So a few months ago, it was not possible or hardly possible to create proper OKRs in all Jira. In a Jira instance, but now I think it's very easy to connect every goals and planning measurements and project, high level project to items, work items, and so on. So I think that's also very interesting for to bring Jira and Confluence more in non-dev teams.
Yeah, and on that topic, actually, they also like explored more on Atlassian focus, indeed, by helping the kind of leadership teams to connect the dots, let's say, on a grand scale, let's say, to overlook the progress and what's going on across different initiatives and projects and teams. But I don't know if you have seen this session where they were talking about Atlassian talent. Does it ring a bell? So they have like a new product that was announced that's called Atlassian Talent, and that's gonna be a workforce planning tool, let's say. So I can kind of see, okay, across my workforce in the company, this is the utilization of my people, let's say, assigned and busy, let's say, on various type of projects. So I can see that, for example, person X still have some 20% of capacity available. So they also said that it's possible to integrate it with Workday, which is very popular application out there for the HR staff. So I'm just curious also your opinion and thoughts on this announcement, guys.
Well, to be honest, I didn't hear about it, but since that you already mentioned Atlassian Focus, because it was announced like last year, and I was kind of hoping that for this year they would talk more about it. The only thing that I know is just a product that is being used for the enterprise users, where you can basically even track your own budget and actually see and have a look into it. But this year we didn't have any information on the focus, what was going on, but rather a new product was, introduced, which actually kind of worries me, because let's say you're kind of a new company and there are like so many options that you can offer your clients for the products, and they can get confused and they can be like, oh, what is a talent, but what is a focus? But they will start to ask some of the questions. So yeah, I'm just worried about that. With that announcing the new products, there might be kind of creation of overwhelming for the new users at least. I mean, I understand it's good when you have innovations. It's good when you're having the product that is solving a specific problem. But then again, I think there's no necessarily overhaul of having your instance with, I don't know, 10 or 12 different products, where you can maybe use one of them to solve multiple problems, for example.
Mm-hmm. Thanks for that, boys.
Yeah, for me, I think one interesting, that you were mentioning is like Atlassian Focus, which is also now packaged together with Jira Align under the strategy package, right? They are calling it, which is indeed something that I think they have not penetrated the market much with that offering. I don't see many people using Jira Align. The people that have used, I haven't seen stellar reviews, let's say, from that. So so I think TBC on how that package performs. That is focused more on those enterprise C-level type of user persona. But the planning tool, sorry, what was the name again of the talents, Atlassian Talent? Yeah, that one is quite interesting, because I mean, I work of course at Adaptivist. We have a lot of consultants delivering mostly Atlassian projects for clients, and that is something that we need, and we use another tool outside of the Atlassian ecosystem to do that. So we do have a need for understanding who our consultants are, where they're working, what type of skills they have, and when we're planning their projects, how to better allocate them to the right projects. So I'm very excited to kind of give the Atlassian solution a try and see how that stacks up against the other solutions out there in the market, because I do see a big need for that, especially in the service business.
Yeah, and this is indeed like developing the platform. It's like, to me, it's like a Atlassian platform becoming one-stop shop for everything, and for any type of persona.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, there will be possibly the challenge also for the marketplace vendors, because I can find out at least one, which I know and I'm using. Customers are asking about it. It comes from Tempo family. There is a capacity planner that could also be utilized by the companies that they want to understand, like, what's the workload across the workforce. So it will be interesting to see how also the partners need to revise their own strategy and adjust to, I would say, also very fast changing reality, let's say, that Atlassian is offering these days. And there are already voices that sometimes it's very difficult to catch up with all of the changes, because it's so changing so rapidly. On one hand, it's kind of admirable, because they walk the talk, right? So they kind of are agile, they release often and so on. On the other hand, like, how much this is really something that we can grasp relatively easily, and also be the ambassadors for our customers, and for companies we work in, to kind of explain, okay, this is what that feature does, this is what this product is for, and so on. And then also have the time to implement it, start using it, and so on. So it's kind of maybe the pace of the changes is also quite high these days. Let's see what will happen with this one. So we've got, guys, another several minutes. So I would like to explore with you another question, which is intriguing me, which is following. Each of us is acting in slightly different roles, I would guess, and I'm happy to hear back from you, which is your role usually on a daily basis. And I'm just wondering, when you see your role, and when you see the changes that are happening with Atlassian products, what they are announcing, how do you perceive your role also being changed in the future, or actually being the subject for that same evolution or revolution, to comply and to adjust, to kind of catch up with the changes that Atlassian is providing? I'm just wondering, what does it mean for you in your role, and if you can kind of explore on this one. So Nicola, maybe we will start with you.
Yeah, sure. Well, first of all, my role is all about the Atlassian engineer. No, I don't do any coding. Actually, the main products that I'm administering are the Jira, Confluence, and Jira Service Management. My day-to-day activities is resolving our customer requests. This could be a lot of the requests, like setting up a new project, configuring it from the scratch, adding people to it, based on the best security practices, of course. Even consulting some of the users on maybe which project type is better for them. For example, some users are actually having smaller teams. They don't want to include, let's say, me in their project. And I'm saying to them, yeah, you can go ahead and create a team managed project, and you can basically manage everything. Also, when needed, setting up the workflows, screens, all of the schemes, issue types, basically everything, all of those things. And also the thing that you also mentioned is how do we cope with all of these new announcements? Well, first of all, I have bookmark pages for all of the news that are there. I would recommend to have the Atlassian community, and within the Atlassian community, you have Jira, you have Confluence, you have Jira Service Management. Sometimes you have those early access programs that are actually available for you that you can sign up for, that you can test out. The recent one that I was able to test out were the live docs for Confluence. And that is actually an interesting one. Honestly, this was kind of a rip-off from the Google Docs because this already exists in the Google Docs. But
Yeah.
why not actually having it in the Confluence as well? Because you can also see the real-time changes from some of the other users, for example. So I have the Atlassian community. I have something that is called the RFC, which is within the Atlassian forums. And basically in there, this was the very first time that I found out that there is going to be a change in the navigation way before it really announced on the community channel as well. So I don't know why this actually happens. And there is also from the Atlassian cloud roadmaps. So what is going to come soon? What is being released? What is in the rollout? But in order to actually prepare our users for some bigger changes, for example, the new UI that is going to be for the Jira and for the Confluence, where the estimate is going to be around like in July, there should be like 100% everyone is going to have a new navigation and everyone is going to use it. But for now, we as admins, we can push that change back in order, to have our users just, to be adaptable a little bit more until the chaos arrives. But the good thing is that we actually keep this like a book where they can actually see, okay, so this is the new navigation, what now, how you can actually use it and everything else. So they're prepared for these big changes that are going to be coming. And what we can only do is we can adapt to these changes. And yeah, the last but not least are those product updates that are only available for org admins. And in there, there's kind of more information, what kind of features are going to be there. This doesn't only include like Jira, this can even include Atlassian administration, which can us for admins make the job much more easier, and we can actually see some of the changes that are coming in there. So yeah, that's me.
Thanks a lot, Nicola. So please pick up the next person to go with.
I'll pass ball to the mic.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, so my current role is, so I have a background in product management and as a product owner, and also in knowledge management from several years of a technical writer. So, and together with my wife, I help teams to, use Atlassian in a not complicated way. I think that's the most important things, as we know, as we heard also from Nicola, and we know it, we have a lot of new features, and every day there's a new feature, and you have to look it up. Okay, if it's already live, or do we have to to check if it's if it's okay to use for us. And do we have to teach the users to use it? I think that's very important. And at the moment, my main work is for one client in knowledge management, especially in Confluence. So this is a DC environment, so it's hard to talk about Rovo and AI because you don't have it. So I think it will be a longer way to get the cloud environment to be running, and that we can also use Rovo. And on the other side, I also have a client for in the cloud, and there, we have a lot of option, and especially, as I said, the teamwork collection is very interesting because we're using Jira and Confluence and a little bit of Loom, but if we can use it in a package also with Robo, it would be very interesting, and I think we can do there a lot. And also with the new features in the administration part and the automation part and the automation audits, that's very helpful. So I think what I think your question was also what would change in my role. I think it will be more important to see what will be new in the future in Atlassian, and what would be very helpful to use, and what is something we have to teach the people to use it in the correct way. For example, the home screen with the goals, and it was there before with Atlas, but now it's restructured. Now you have goals and you have the system of work stuff also in a connection to that. So I think it's a very important part to teach the users to use Jira right. So, and I think it's at least as important as the admin stuff you're doing the whole day. I think that's it from my part.
Thanks a lot, Mike. And Rodrigo, how about you?
Yeah, so I'm the country manager of Adaptivist in Spain, and more recently also overseeing our go-to-market in the APAC region. So for me, a lot of what I'm doing is trying to just understand the go-to-market and how we're gonna as you said, like the tools are getting more complicated. There's more variety. The change is faster, so it's making sure that the teams, sales, consultants, everyone is up to speed, and they know what best to recommend to the clients. And then how we communicate that, in our marketing activities, and how we engage with like C-level and and our target customers to translate all the value that actually that Atlassian brings to them, to make sure also that they're leveraging and using as much, everything that they can. They're not staying just short, just using the basic functionality, especially now with with Rovo. I think there's a lot of value that we can generate there for clients, and that's I think all those new changes, that's kind of how I'm applying on my day-to-day to make sure that the clients are getting the value from those changes.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Mike, I had to mute you for a second because there was some kind of background coming from your headphones, I guess. So just so you know, I will obviously unmute you whenever you need it. I kind of second your opinion, guys, and my experience is actually mostly from the project management, IT project management, digital transformations, agile coaching. So I used to be on the business side of the things, and I was helping companies to streamline, optimize their ways of working, processes with different methods and frameworks. I'm currently last few years, it was very much configuring the work, because I purposefully wanted to blend my experience from management and transformations with how I can actually adjust the tools, and I wanted to have it hands-on experience. So that's why I moved to the configurations a few years ago, and I think that I have seen the teams that even though they had full-blown packages bought from Atlassian, they didn't use it, right? So I think that the biggest challenge for me, I was realizing also after last week, is really help the companies to understand the purpose of each of the product, and also make sure it's actually good fit for them, that it's not overcomplicating their processes. if it's not bringing the value, it shouldn't be in place, in my opinion. So it's really like we need to be very much knowledgeable, and again, getting back to this idea of us being on top of the news and informations that are happening in the ecosystem, and still be very much advisory, and people who are helping to kind of implement these solutions, but with this, at least that's my kind of motto, to help companies streamline processes with the tools that are very much applicable for the way of working, for the scale of the business, for the business challenges and problems that they are facing, and so on. So that's gonna be challenging, especially on the side of knowledge. Kind of, the brain capacity is just limited, at least mine is recently. So thanks a lot, Nicola, also for the list of hints that you are having with the bookmarks and news pages and stuff, because that's very much useful indeed. Okay, last question before we wrap up the session. I'm very much curious also and intrigued. If you were going to describe the future of the organization that is using Atlassian products, like what is that organization looking like, and what are the attributes of that organization that is, in the back office, it is supported by Atlassian product suite? Rodrigo, go ahead, please.
Yeah. So, well, I think what we mentioned before, that the Atlassian is trying to go for all different types of teams, right? And that would also, encompass all different types of industries and different types of customers. So even if you go to their website, right, the first thing you land, there's a selection there. We can choose development teams, marketing teams, HR teams, right? And they're really going for that integrated approach across industries, as they already are, right? We already, and we all service Atlassian customers, and they are varied from rocket companies to food delivery to everyone is using, because at the end of the day, also most companies nowadays are product companies. They are building software, and I see just Atlassian trying to connect and be that central hub where teams work, which there's a lot of people fighting for that role. Right, so I think it's not going to be an easy battle, let's say, for Atlassian to win. Microsoft, and that's also like they're sponsoring now the F1 team, right, Williams, because I think they're trying to elevate their their position and their perspective to compare themselves more to like Google, Microsoft, to be that central place of work. You also see their AI being connected to tools like Google tools, Google Sheets, etc. So they're trying to be that central work hub. For all types of companies out there. So
thanks.
That's kind of where I see it's going.
Thanks a lot. Just Confluence had also, there were a few announcements about the Confluence, and even more capabilities to have like parallel edits of the page, versioning, and so on. So that's indeed is just is a confirmation that they would like to also go after the Google users in a way.
Yeah, but Rovo itself is connected to all those other applications. I think they announced, 200 or 500 or something like that of your most used apps. They said that Rovo connects with, right? So it's really like connect Slack, connect Salesforce, connect everything to me, and use me as the central, central place to run your business.
Indeed. Thanks a lot, Rodrigo. So who's next, Rodrigo? Please indicate who's next.
Mike, go for it.
I need to unmute you. I'm doing it now. Okay, done.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I think the future companies will look. I really like the session about the state of team report with the distributed teams. I think we saw a lot of companies which say, okay, you have to come back in the office. But I think the future will be a distributed team all over the world. And I think especially with tools like Atlassian Plus, for example, Slack as an instant messaging tool, you can do everything. Also, what you just said, the connectors to, if you, for example, have any Google Docs or Notion as well, I don't know who's use Confluence when Notion when they have Confluence, but yeah, sometimes you can connect everything with the Rovo connectors. That will be very helpful as well. So I think it will help, especially knowledge companies or knowledge-based companies to work in a more distributed way. And Atlassian itself tries to or they work absolutely totally remote and distributed. I think that's a very interesting way, and I think that's a good goal for many companies. So I think a lot of companies will try to do it in the same way. I would like it.
Yes, me too, actually.
So,
Thanks a lot, Mike, for sharing this. Nicola, how about you? How do you see that future state of the companies?
Well, I personally think that a lot of the companies will be reliant on the AI itself, because we can actually see that AI is becoming a part of our day-to-day lives, especially a lot of us using the ChatGPT. I believe that most of us have the ChatGPT open somewhere. But this is going to be, of course, replaced by the Robo, and this for the companies is going to be much more easier to actually be focused on some of the apps, well, basically to be focused on the things that really matter, things that have like the high priorities. They don't have to worry about generating a report every single time after, let's say, a sprint review or something like that. I mean, yeah, sure, you can have the automation for that, but then again, maybe someone who doesn't know about the automation that much, they're going to ask the robo and say, hey, I want to do this, just make me this more easier for me, and basically that's it. And also it really depends on what the organizations and what their natures are. So if there is like a software company, if it's an HR company, if it's a finance company, what kind of products they're going to be using. Well, maybe the software company, some of them may be using the GitHub, or they're going to option for the Bitbucket, because you can say to them, hey, Bitbucket is using the CI/CD tools, for example. They're like implemented right away, and you don't have to go for the install and all over again. But the main thing is, it's all about the AI. It's also about having these meetings to be shorter as possible, because a lot of people are actually having a problem with, being like, there was this session, there was saying like 78% of people are actually on the very long meetings, and everything else is like the actual work done. And this is like a big potential for Loom, because really all you have to do is record a Loom, say what is the agenda, what needs to be done. And all of those meetings of 2 hours, or who knows how much, they can be with either one Slack message, with the Loom video, and basically that is it. So yeah, that is my take on.
Thanks, Nicola. Yeah, with the AI, I also think it's gonna be very much like how can we, like recently I had a conversation with a customer who was very keen to help the team speed up the tickets in service desk, the triaging time, time to response, time to resolution, and so on. And these type of cases will be great also for how can we apply automations and AI agents to help us actually do it and achieve it. So I think also Mike during the session said that it's going to be like people will become generalists and they will be supported by the AI agents. And it's kind of like I don't know. For me, it's kind of I can align with that vision, because I see also based on myself that actually also doing the configuration, advising customers on which products to choose so that they can really have a robust processes. It requires different type of knowledge. But then if I want to kind of delve deeper, I could start creating that AI agent who will actually help me to be focused on a specific topic. So it's very interesting trend, and I would say I would be normally scared of, because I'm using AI, obviously ChatGPT, as we discussed, everyone probably has opened and have continuously, each day in use. But at the end of the day, it's also about, who are we servicing? Are we servicing ourselves, or are we servicing the AI? Yeah. And what's the relationship between us as a humans and between the agents and robots? So that's a philosophical conversation, but at least I think that this generally is the human that is supported by the AI agent. It's really our future as well.
And no, and the AI will not take our jobs. The only thing that is going to take a job is someone who knows to use the AI.
Yeah, like they were saying, if you know how to write the prompts, if you know how to write the agents, you get the job, right?
Yep.
And much. I think it was great case actually they showed also last week, which was like there is a user story and AI agent can write down the code that will actually implement that user story, and then AI agent can also verify this code against the acceptance criteria. So it's kind of cool, and I think that the human skills and competences can be used actually to check if the code has any kind of gaps, if it's secure, and so on. So there is a space for all of it to be kind of, accommodated. I hope so.
Exactly. Yep.
All right, guys, thanks a lot for your time. First of all, to everyone who were watching us also, thanks a lot very much. Yeah, it was just the immediate idea, and I'm, as I said, very much grateful to Nicola, Mike, and Rodrigo, and other Mike also that guys joined me. And yeah, stay tuned. Who knows what the future holds for us? So maybe we will have the chance to discuss again in the future. Thanks, everyone, and have a good afternoon.
Thank you. Thank you so much for organizing.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. See you.